sitasita, simamia mtu, ndugu jihadhari, alama ni Jumapili. Tena kwamba hatutanunua wala kuuza tusipotukiwa na chapa jina la mnyama. Unokunja S.D.A bwana. No, that song was sung in the 90s. Bernard, do you remember that song? And I remember it would be when it was being sung in the camp meetings, and I was in primary, I was like, am I really going to finish school? I thought that Jesus was coming in our days. You know, the preachers of those days, Bana, would preach until you say, hey, Lord, take me now. They are not like the modern day preachers who are preaching and they are not even convicted of what they are preaching. Please, Jesus is coming back. Hallelujah, church. Yes, Christ is coming back very soon and we are going to see him. Very excited. So, it's going to cause. So, why am I making noise here? Because the Adventists are sleeping. Wake up, church. Wake up, church. Hunjorit madala Zion, nyiswa wach marotieno, ratego oneno koso, pindwa rorunwa koso, kaungiyo dongu neno ler kawok, kaungiyo dongu neno ler kawok. Weche piny donge nyisowa wuodhwa ka ogik rumo, wachegni gi polo koso, wang'wa donge omake, wanyal geno ka piny ruoth polo chiegni, wanyal geno kapin polo chiegni. Wuodhwa chiegni rumo jo S.D.A. Hallelujah. Yes, so stop sleeping. Wake up. Wake up. Joma nindo chiew, kineno jirani kanindo titimenane, amusha yeye, mwambie this is not the time to sleep, because our redemption is drawing nearer than when we first believed. I've read Romans 13 verse 11 in that statement. Go and read. Our redemption is drawing nearer than when we first believed. Our salvation is nearer than when the pioneers founded this church. We are almost into the city of God. Let us not sleep like others. You can go and read that. So quickly, let me take you to, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you, for yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. But then for those who are not watching, Jesus is going to appear as a thief in the night. But if you're watching, he will not appear as a thief. Actually, the last verse says, but you brethren are not in darkness. Why are we living in darkness? Well, we have the truth. We have the prophetic truth. 2 Peter 1:19 says that we have a more sure word of prophecy, whereby we do well to take heed as a light that shineth in a dark place, and the day dawns in our hearts. Knowing this first, that no prophecy in the Old Testament came by the will of man, but holy men of God spoke as they were led by the Holy Spirit. 2 Peter 1:19-21. And then he says, be very careful, because no prophecy is of private interpretation. Yes, you shouldn't interpret. So the agents towards Sunday law, these two elements. The first one on my left is which one? Which one? COVID-19. The one on the right, monkeypox. It is in 2020 that COVID came, that already the papal system had indicated that we were going to have a crisis from 2020. But they don't expect things to change to the better. Don't. Everything that began from 2020 we will be, if you know, the authors of a magazine in a very famous magazine in the Western world called the Time magazine had said that we are going to experience an apocalyptic year in 2022. Do you know we are in the apocalyptic year? Some of the things that are happening are strange things. Very strange things. Wake up, church. This one is the Bank of England governor. England is one of the richest states in the world. But the governor of the Bank of England himself has said, he says that the Bank of England governor sounds apocalyptic warning on food shortages due to Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. That when they saw the war between Ukraine and Russia, they said that we are already going the apocalyptic way on food. And by the Western world, if you have a friend in America, call him and ask him, how is the food in America right now? Food shortages are already experienced. And America is the one that is going to make people to buy or sell not to buy or sell until they are given the number. They are the first one to lead. The rest will follow. Now, Demon, which is the head of the largest United States of America bank, said on June 1st, last month, that the world should prepare for an economic hurricane. These are signs of the times. Current events. An economic hurricane is coming. There's no way they can implement a new world order or one world government when everything continues normally. The coming food catastrophe. The coming food catastrophe. By the price right now, how much is the unga going for? Then, our government is a very good government. They told us that they reduced the price of unga. By how much? You should wake up. You should know that something is wrong. Something is very wrong. Now, they're saying that the war, by invading Ukraine, the war between Ukraine and Russia is a global war that has been fueled by the Vatican and the Jesuits of Rome. They're the people that are pulling those strings because they know Ukraine and Russia are holding the world ransom because of the wealth that they have. Fuel and food. Fuel and food. So that's the first granary that they hit hard to bring in the economies of the world. By invading Ukraine, Vladimir Putin will destroy the lives of people far from the battlefield. He says, and on the scale even he may regret. The war is battering a global food system. Which war? Ukraine, Russia, which is already been weakened by COVID-19 and climate change. I've been telling you here, anytime you hear people talk of climate change, that is Sunday worship. Sasa, Sunday, climate change is about Sunday what? Sunday worship. Aye. United Nations warns global food crisis could turn into a catastrophe. Catastrophe. Do you know what catastrophe is? Serious crisis. That's where we are headed. Aye. For those who were here yesterday, I told you this, that the International Energy Agency's 10-point plan to tackle energy crisis. This is something that should raise your eyebrows. They are saying that they have come up with 10 points on how to address the world energy crisis. And the third one is something that you need to think through about. What are they saying? We should have car-free Sundays. Why not car-free Fridays? Mwalimu, why not Nini? Elder, why do you think they are not telling us car-free Saturdays, only Sundays? They are preparing us for Sunday worship. And yesterday I told those who are here that this thing is not in Europe only. Did you remember that our governor the other day, Governor Nyong'o, there was a time they were saying that you don't drive cars into the CBD. How many remember that statement? Why was he saying like that? They are testing their waters. How will the masses react? They know a global crisis is coming. One world government is coming. And the agenda for the one world government is to be implemented the latest 7 years from today. The so-called Vision 2030. If you hear Kenyans talk of Vision 2030 or something we call Sustainable Development Goals, they are talking about a one world government with the Pope of Rome as the president. Vision 2030. That means how many years do we have in between here to preach the gospel? So wake up and preach. Wake up and give the world the final warning. Now, there's something here. This is from Testimonies to the Church, volume 6, page 408. Sister White wrote this, and it is now happening. She says, the restraining spirit of God is now being withdrawn from the world. Hurricanes, and I told you, go and sample what's happening in the West. Hurricanes, flood, storms, tempest, fire and flood, disasters by sea and land follow each other in quick what? Succession. Then science, she says, science, I put in bracket the climate what? Climate change. See, science is what is telling us about the climate change. Yes, so they're saying science seeks to explain all this. The signs thickening around us, telling of the near approach of the Son of God, are attributed to any other than the true cause. Jesus is coming back, and the signs of the times are declaring, and the Adventists even sing, portentous signs are thickening round the whole creation, waiting groans to hear the star. Yes, then weep no more. Yes. So when you come to church and you start singing How Far From Home, sing with understanding. Sing with understanding. We are almost there. Now, because of the crisis that's taking place in the world, this is on May 25th. I want you to see this guy sitting in the middle. That's the Pope of Rome. He said that Pope is calling for a Christian economy based on Christian economy based on community. Who can now interpret for me that? He's calling for a Christian economy that is based on community. In other words, people should be treated equally. We are going to have a universal currency, a universal dollar, or a universal euro. But because the world is going to be divided and ruled in 10, according to the 10 world economic powers, the whole world is going to be divided, has already been divided into 10. Each region is going to have their currency, or something like that. Now, for this thing to be implemented, John, in a vision, was given some 3 unclean spirits like frogs. The people that are moving forward to deceive the world. And chapter 16, verse 13 of Revelation, John says that I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs coming out of the mouth of the dragon. Now we know the dragon is the devil. Then he says, out of the mouth of the beast. Now you know the beast is papacy. And out of the mouth of the false prophet. Not prophets. A prophet, one person. One person. That one person, if you want to know who he is, you go and read Great Controversy, page 624. Sister White says that as the crowning act in the great drama of deception, Satan himself is going to personate Christ. The devil is going to come and declare that he's Jesus Christ. The devil is going to come. But now, I saw 3 unclean spirits coming out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. Then he says, these are spirits of devils working miracles, going to the kings of the earth and to the whole world. They are going to the kings of the earth. The spirit of the dragon going to the kings of the world. Get me? The kings, the spirit of devils going to the kings of the world. Do you know that king? Do you know that king? Hey, church, do you know that king? Do you know that king in a black suit? Hey. We are very close to the papal system. Very close. Very close. He visited Vatican last year. This is 2021. He was there. He was visiting the Rome. For those who are following, for me, I follow a lot of what's going inside there. I even saw him going to worship. He worshipped in St. Peter's Basilica. And he went and knelt before the altar of Mary. So he's worshiping Mary, who is a dead person. Amani aje wazee? Munaona hiyo? Are you following this? We are very close. We're very close. We're very close. This is now Kenya. This is Kenya. Why am I giving us this? In Revelation chapter 17, from verse 1 to 17, you'll realize that the whole world, actually, not before we even go to Revelation 12, you remember that beast of chapter 13, which was wounded, had 10 horns, and upon the 10 horns were 10 crowns. 10 what? 10 crowns. Those 10 crowns represents the 10 kings. Can you read Revelation 17, verse 12? 17, 12 of Revelation. Yes. Yes. And the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings. They have received no kingdom as yet. They will receive one power with the beast when the beast's wound has been healed. They have not received kingdom. So that's where the whole world, you see, this is how the world was divided. You can see this. The whole world has been divided like this. The whole world. To fulfill Revelation chapter 13 and Revelation chapter 17. In chapter 17 of Revelation, I'm going to show you that picture. There's a woman that was seen riding a beast. A woman is a church and the beast is a kingdom. So that is how the Bible talks about the church and state unity. And I told you, when now you hear the Kenyans are talking about what we call the interfaith. The interfaith is about church and state. Church and state. And they are the ones that are going to control. In fact, this is the second wave of COVID, where we are today. They are using it to tighten the belt. You'll see how many, they will be talking to us again about so many things about worship. Those sites have a lot to do with the signs of the times. Now, for the whole world to be ruled, these 10 kingdoms, the 8th kingdom, the central part of Africa, Kenya is the headquarters. But when the papal system starts ruling, that leadership will be in Europe. You know Europe? Which country is called Europe in Kenya? Which town? Yes, just to watch. They have already started testing us with our free cities. The cities of the world, they're coming closer. Now, this is a recent happening. This tells you that we are almost there. Vatican is offering a moral support. Vatican, offering moral support, joins United Nations Treaty on Climate Change. Vatican officially has joined the United Nations. From 1964, they were saying that Vatican is an observer. But right now they have joined. So when they have joined, it means that the person that will be taking lead, because United Nations is the arm of Vatican. That's how they have been using, that's the power that they've been using, United Nations. Now they have officially joined. They joined on the 8th of June to be members of the United what? Nations. But the United Nations must have a leader. So who's going to be the leader of the United Nations ultimately? The Pope. Now look at this statement from Ellen G. White. Testimonies to the Church, volume 7. She says, the world is filled with storm and war and variance. Yet under one head, the papal power, the people will unite to oppose God in the person of his what? His witnesses. The world is filled with storm. I don't know whether you are seeing the storms right now in the world. But under one power, the papal power, the people are going to unite to oppose God in the person of his witnesses. One more time, our message is the first angel's message, which I read in the morning. Seventh-day Adventists, our message is to proclaim the first, the second, and the third angel's message. First angel is saying, I saw angel flying there, saying, having an everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, fear God. That's the message. We need to tell the world to fear God. You cannot tell the world to fear God outside there when you don't fear God inside here. So we need to fear God ourselves. Fear God. That's the judgment message that was first preached in the summer of 1844. We shall all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. There's a song, you know, Adventist church, but the Adventist church, we were so much organized. We were very okay. The judgment has set, the books have been opened. Koro kawono rodwa manie polo. kose hao buge bura onono parowe chetimbe kata richo kata ber wana chungna dendaluno wana chungna dendaluno no nwangwa kapo dwaricho koso kwaler kumrem Yesu tichando chake kum jomonindo tonda lokoro chegini ma enono nwa jo mangima to buchwano benade wana chungna dendalo wana chungna dendalo no ngwa kapo dwaricho koso kwaler kumrem Yesu Kitab nyasanchwa nonyis weche duto ema jangat bura no som kaka no ngad bura esano no siki manyaka cheng wana chungna dendalo no wana chungna dendalo no no nwangwa kapo dwaricho koso kwaler kumrem Yesu. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Babylon. What is Babylon? Babylon is the Roman Catholic Church. Babylon is the Roman Catholic Church. This Babylon, if you want to read more, go and read Revelation chapter 17, verse 1 to 25. No, verse 1 to 18. Revelation 17, 1 to 18. Babylon is this woman. John says that he was taken by the Spirit into the wilderness, and he saw a woman riding on a beast. And when he looked at the woman, he saw a woman was having a mystery, a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of all harlots and abominations of the things that are taking place in the earth. And then when he continued looking, he saw the woman was carrying a cup, a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. This cup has false doctrines. And the nations of the world have drunk from this cup. It is because of the false doctrines that God has called the Seventh-day Adventist Church to go out and tell people that Babylon is done what? Is fallen. Babylon is fallen. And in the morning I told you that one of the reasons for which people are being called from Babylon is because man is decorating seriously the mortal flesh. Those who like decorating their bodies in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, I'm here to tell you, you will walk out very soon. Because you love the world more than the love of God. You are going to go out. You are going out very soon. Friendship to the world is enmity with God. Go and confirm James chapter 4 verse 4. He who is unfriended to the world becomes an enemy of God. Love not the world, 1 John 2:15, neither the things that are in the world. For he who loves the world, the lust of the flesh, the love of the Father is not in what? In him. So Babylon is fallen. The church and state. It is in this cup that we even right now, these things like Christmas is in that cup. Christ was not born on the 25th. But you see, everybody gets excited that Christ was done what? You look at the history and the genesis of Christmas, it is found within the Roman Catholic Church. Right now, if you don't do a birthday, you are seen as an awkward person. The things of the world. This cup has Sunday worship, like is explained here, selected messages, and the book Evangelism says the fallen denominational churches are Babylon. Those churches are Babylon. Babylon has been fostering poisonous doctrines, the wine of error, teaching of error. This wine of error is made up of false doctrines, such as the natural immortality of the soul. They believe that the dead are not dead, including S.D.As. Many people here do not believe that the dead are dead. And that's why when somebody dies, you go to the village and you find a women minister from Migos S.D.A church has printed a t-shirt here, rest in peace Nyaruyoma. You are talking to the dead people. Many people many people are living ignorantly. One of the truths that the God has given to this church is to tell the world and teach them that the dead are not what? Dead are dead. For the living know that they will die, but the dead do not know anything. So stop spending a lot of money on the dead people. A dead man goes to the grave in a very new suit and a tie, some new shoes, as if he's going to a journey somewhere. Dead fox. While Christ was just wrapped in a fine linen and buried in a grave that was not even his grave. Great Controversy, page 588. You can go and read. The topic is spiritualism. What is the devil doing with the state of the dead? So many people right now, in fact, for Luos who are in this church, you know, Luos love the dead more than the living. Let me tell you right now, if I can try to be dead, my brother, if I try to be dead right now, you'll see how many people, even those who have not seen me for a long time, they'll be waiting. Don't bury that guy. That was my man. Don't bury him until we arrive. While I can be sleeping hungry right now and they don't care. So go and study the state of the dead. Young people, I'm telling you, this is not an entertainment. Go and read the state of the dead. The book is Great Controversy or Great Hope. The topic is spiritualism. The second topic is the agency of the evil spirit. The third one is, can our dead speak to us? Go and read those topics. So that you won't why. Why am I telling you that? It is written in the pen of inspiration that before Jesus comes, some dead people, in quotes, will appear on earth and even tell us that Jesus changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. Great Controversy, page 560. People will come even claiming that they are Joseph. Some will say they are Paul. Some will say they are Peter and the disciples. Some will even say they are Moses and Elijah. And they say, we have come to tell you that the Sabbath, the final controversy is going to be about deception and deception. So you need to be anchored into the truth. You need to be anchored in the truth. Young people, this is your week. Go and read. The adults, we have no problem with you. You just wait for Jesus. But I've looked at the package which you need to be grabbing. It's a lot. It does not need an old mind. It needs a young mind. Nyinyi sasa tumewacha, nyinyi imeni tu obirong, birone, koro chegini. Imbeni hiyo kapesa. But the young people read and go out. Dalong mangeny to lweny nitie, to pinje ok no yudi kwe, nyakang jawaro wire piny, mondo terwa e polong, obirong, birone en koro chiegni, he obiro, Yesu birong, obirong, machegini. Ambassadors, are you there? Ambassadors, you need to that song that you sang, this song that was having some soloing. Where are the ambassadors? Ambassadors, come. I want you to give us an interlude. As we move to this, Babylon is fallen. The second angel's message is fallen is Babylon. Fallen is Babylon. Ambassadors, you come. Thank you so much. Come. Now, the third angel's message, if any man was, this one I've explained a number of times. The third angel's message, if any man, and because this message must go out, if you have a flash disk, bring it before I leave here. If you have a phone if you have a smartphone, bring it. I'll transfer for you this data so that you can review it at home and preach it to the rest of the world. This is our message. The third angel's message followed on them saying, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive a mark in his forehead in hand, he will drink the wine of the wrath of God. That's the third angel's message. But the good news is, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. Thank you so much. Let's take a break as they give us that message.
Sijui atakapokuja mchana au usiku, labda saa ya alasiri, pengine ni alfajiri, utwambia tuwe tayari, taa zetu tusizime.
Amen.
Ili ajapo atukute, tuwe tukimgoja yeye. Tukikesha kuomba, tukikingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Twakesha twamgoja yeye.
Amen. Amen. Watching and waiting. Watching and waiting.
Nakumbuka huruma zake, bei ya wokovu wetu.
Amen.
Aliacha nyumba tukufu, awafilie wabaya. Ninadhani itampendeza kama sisi watu wake, tukionyesha pendo letu, tuwe tukimgoja yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Twakesha twamgoja yeye.
Yesu Mwokozi mpendwa, najua nalihifadhi tumaini la kukuona, la kukaribishwa nawe. Ukija kwa watu wengine kama mhukumu wao, kwangu utakuwa rafiki, na kesha na kungojea.
Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Twakesha twamgoja yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Twakesha twamgoja yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Twakesha twamgoja yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Tukesha tukingojea yeye. Twakesha twamgoja yeye.
In the church. So I am deciding deliberately to stop here so that I can also invite some questions that somebody may be having. If we had time, we could have continued to run some other more slides, but I just want to invite a few questions, maybe one or two, then we move on. But this, I wanted us to take us to when now everything has been done, the storm has been there, persecution has passed. By the way, we have nothing to fear. Christ is going to fight the battle for us. The battle is Jesus. Only make a decision to be on the side of Christ. Once we are on the side of Christ, the battle will be waged a strong, fierce battle. In the morning, He will take us into the city above. Then we will start what we call the 1,000 years of rest in the city above. The Bible says at that time, John saw an angel coming down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. So he took the great chain and cast the devil into the bottomless pit. This is Satan. He will be taken and thrown into the, signifying that that time the devil will be here for 1,000 years with nobody to deceive. This is our truth, Adventist. If you read this, it will be very difficult for you to still love, because all the saints will be with Jesus in heaven, and all the wicked world will be here on planet Earth with nobody. Dead, all of them are dead. The wicked world will wait for the second resurrection, which is the resurrection of the wicked world. Revelation and Corinthians says, I saw thrones, and they that sat on throne, and judgment was given unto the saints. They shall be priests and shall reign with 1,000 years. We shall reign with Jesus 1,000 years. Then after the 1,000 years, you see we are in heaven. 1,000 years, judgment is going on. This is this is the time when we'll be checking out on people who were appearing to be Christian and religious, and yet they were wicked in their hearts. So you'll be arriving in heaven and you ask, hey, where is Micah? Where is Micah? No, Micah, I know you are going. Let me not use your name. Anybody who thinks he's not going, so that you can use him as an example. Now maybe I can bring in this guy called the pilot and people like Judas who we know are not going. So when we arrive there, we'll be given records of all these guys, and we'll see that these guys deserved dying. It's a sad thing. And that thing will bring people to a point of moments of crying and wailing, because we'll see people dying, and then God will wipe away the tears of everyone. After that cry, when we shall have realized that we have missed, some of our loved ones are not in heaven, people who should have been there. A deacon who was very smart, ushering people in church every day, giving Holy Communion, and the deaconess are not there in heaven. So sad. Let us humbly accept Jesus. It's a good thing. So quickly, because of time, after 1,000 years, second resurrection takes place. Jesus comes from heaven again with the city of God. Remember Revelation 21, Jesus says, and John says, I saw a new heaven and a what? No, I saw a new Jerusalem coming down like a bride, adorned for the husband. That's what Jesus says. At the close of 1,000 years, the second resurrection will take place. The second resurrection is the resurrection of the wicked world. Will take part. Then Christ descends upon Mount of Olives. After his resurrection, he ascended, and where angels have repeated the promise of his return, saying, the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints will come with him. So he'll come. I'm giving you just quickly what happens during the final event. Then after that one happens, as Jesus comes down with the city of God, the wicked world will be raised. The wicked world will be raised. And after they are raised, you see Jerusalem up there. They will go and encompass round about Jerusalem. This is a story that is truth, because it is written in the pen of inspiration, and the Bible confirms this. Now, they go and encompass the city of God, and then they went abroad. You see, Revelation 29 says they went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city. And then fire will be brought down. And fire came down from heaven and devoured them. The word devour is a very strong word. To devour, our lions devour. If you've watched those geographical movies, see how animals devour one another. So they'll be devoured by fire. I don't want us to read that, but it explains what we have seen there. Then fire will destroy them, people will be destroyed. You can see fire everywhere. The devil himself, who had deceived them, will also be cast into the lake of fire, burning with his brimstone. Then sin will be done away with. The wicked world will be destroyed. So what we need to do, our names must be in the book of Jesus.